So hello everyone and welcome to Career Launcher. So in today's class, we are going to discuss about July 2026 week 1 current affairs. And I hope you all are aware that we do it is in actually question and answer format. So let us start with the first question. So the first question is in front of you. The first question says, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was conferred with which highest civilian award of Seychelles? So basically, recently Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Seychelles, and I'm sure you must be aware Seychelles is actually an island country in Indian Ocean belonging to Africa continent. So he was given Guardian of the Blue Horizon Award. So B is the right answer to this question. You can see it here. Seychelles highest award, highest distinction for leadership in environmental conservation. And if you see it, here is India. So somewhere here you will find an island country called as Seychelles in Indian Ocean region, and it belongs to Africa continent. And here you will find Indian Ocean. Of course, it is in Indian Ocean. That is what you should be knowing about. Now, let's move on to the next one. The next is India inaugurated the world's first hydrogen production facility based on which thermochemical cycle. So the right answer is copper chlorine cycle, and the right answer is B. World's first copper chlorine thermochemical cycle based hydrogen production facility was inaugurated in Kalpakkam. So this is what we call is as IGCAR, Indira Gandhi Center for Atomic Research in Kalpakkam, Tamil Nadu. That's what you should be knowing. Next is PM Narendra Modi became first Indian Prime Minister to do what? To actually address the Parliament of Seychelles. He had gone there in the month of July and he addressed the Parliament of Seychelles also. First Indian Parliament to address Parliament, that is National Assembly they call, of Seychelles. So B is the right answer to this question. Let's move on to the next one. The next is Union Commerce Minister Mr. Piyush Goyal received a special award for what? So right answer is option C, exceptional leadership in elevating India-UK relations. So C is the right answer to this question. Okay, and I'm sure you must be aware last year an agreement was signed. It is called a CETA between India and UK. A free trade agreement was signed. Comprehensive Economic Trade Agreement. That came into force in this year, July. So that is why it is very, very important now. And this is actually a class we have taken on our Law Interest channel. You can watch it if you are interested to know in detail about the India-UK free trade deal that was done last year. But this year, actually, it came into force. And Union Commerce Minister has got an award for this, for ensuring the success of this award, of this relation or a trade agreement. Next is Ethan Vance recently became India's option C, 96th Grandmaster. Grandmaster is actually a chess achievement. Hai na? So achievement in the chess. So C is the right answer to this question. Let's move on to the next one. India and Saudi Arab signed an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, during Saudi Water Week, mainly to strengthen cooperation in which sector? So right answer is option B, Water Resource Management. B is the right answer to this question. MOU means Memorandum of Understanding, or you can say agreement on water resource planning, sustainable water management, irrigation system, capacity building, and exchange of technical expertise. Okay, yes, you can see water resource. Saudi Water Week in Jeddah, Saudi Arab, it happened. This was the venue. Dr. Suhail Khan is India's ambassador to Saudi Arab. He engaged with the ministers, etc. Next is the Suman Roadmap 2030 aims to reduce India's maternal mortality rate to below 70 per 1 lakh birth. Maternal mortality rate means if during the childbirth, if a lady dies, or mother dies, that's called as maternal mortality rate. It is calculated out of 1 lakh. So 70 per 1 lakh. So the target is by 2030, it should be below 70 per 1 lakh childbirth. So that's the idea behind this. So C is the right answer to this question. Next is, which of the following cities has been selected to host one of the India's first university township under Union Budget 2026-2027? The right answer is option C, Thiruvananthapuram is the right answer to this question. One of the first university township aimed at strengthening collaboration between academia, industry, and research institution. That is what you should know. You can see it here now. Setting up 5 university township in the vicinity of major industrial and logistic corridor. That's what you should be knowing. In collaboration with academia research. So university township means actually there is a place where actually it was announced in union budget this year to host multiple universities, research institution, residential complexes at one place. So that's what you should be knowing. Let's move on. Who among the following became the new chief of army staff? So recently a new army chief was appointed. His name is General Dheeraj Seth. So C is the right answer to this question. You should know it. This is important. Next is who has been recently appointed to chair the high-level study group formed to boost Indian film industry. So which actually a person is heading the committee. So the answer is option C, Mr. Prasoon Joshi. He is the chairperson of Prasar Bharati also. Recently appointed as chairperson of Prasar Bharati is the organization, of course, which heads the Doordarshan, which is the head of Doordarshan. You know it. So C is the right answer to this question. So this what is the job? So this is the job of the study group. Steps to make Indian films more competitive, and impact of new technology, AI, virtual production, etc. These things you should be knowing. Next is the US Supreme Court recently upheld the principle of what? So they upheld the principle of birthright citizenship, what we call it as just solely principle. So basically, there is a provision in American law, American Constitution, which says actually there's a provision that has been there for many years, for more than I think 150 years, that anyone who is born on the soil of USA, just solely on the soil, will automatically become the citizen, will actually be given the chance to become a citizen of the country, even if their parents are not. This is called as babies born in the USA have constitutional right to citizenship. Because Donald Trump was insisting on cancelling this idea. That was he was thinking of. Okay. So B is the right answer to this question. So under 14th Amendment, this is the provision that is directly mentioned in the US constitutions. And Supreme Court has interpreted it that yes, it is there, and they actually asserted this idea. So Supreme Court said that the babies born in the US have a constitutional right to citizenship, and because Donald Trump was attempting to end this 150-year-old policy. 6-3 the judgment came. Justice John Roberts ruled that the children born in the US to parent lawfully or temporarily present are citizens at the birth under 14th Amendment. For example, let's say an Indian couple, they had just gone to USA for a tourist purpose. If the child is born, of course, they can get the citizenship. That's the idea behind this. Right now in India, we don't have just solely principle. We have what we in India we have just sanguine principle, and sanguine, I think something written like this, where actually at least one parent should be an Indian, right? I'm sure you must be aware. Next is WhatsApp's upcoming username feature is primarily intended for what? Protect users' phone number privacy. So they are coming up with an idea that yes, you can able to communicate using username without sharing the phone numbers. So that was the idea behind this. So C is the right answer to this question. I'm sure it was very much in the news. And of course, WhatsApp is controlled by Meta, who is the parent company of Facebook. Next is Kidambi Srikanth won which medal at US Open Badminton Tournament recently? So right answer is option B, silver. He won. So Kidambi Srikanth won silver medal at US Badminton Tournament. He lost the final to Taiwanese Su Li Yang. Just have an idea about it. Next is among the following one Peru's presidential election. Peru is actually a country in South America. And Peru's capital is Lima. So right answer is option C, Kiku Fujimori. So where is actually Peru? So here is India. This one is South America. And here is Peru. The capital of Peru is Lima. So C is the right answer. Next is which of the following organizations recently released the report titled Extreme Heat and Agriculture? Right answer is option B, FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization, and World Meteorological Organization. B is the right answer to this question. Jointly released the report, so B is the right answer. Next is which of the following NASA Space Technology Telescope is the target of the robotic rescue mission? So what is the right answer? Right answer is option C, SWIFT. So SWIFT Space Telescope. So they are actually trying to rescue this SWIFT Space Telescope, which is gradually descending towards the Earth. So it is an observatory which actually has detected most powerful explosion in the universe, but now it is at the risk of crashing back on the Earth. So that's why they are actually trying their best to, with the help of link craft and other things, to grab these robotic arms and bring back safely into the orbit. That's the idea behind this. Next is which of the following wetlands in Assam has been notified as biodiversity heritage site for conserving wild rice? So answer is option B, Borjuli wetland. Okay. In Assam has been declared as biodiversity heritage site due to its rich population of the world rice species. And this is the name of the species, Oriza rufigopon, an important genetic resource for climate resilience. Okay, that's what you should know. Next is, which of the following states has recently launched Durga Squad to strengthen women's safety? So it was launched by the West Bengal police. So West Bengal government introduced Durga Squad along with cyber help desk and 24/7 women help desk in police stations. So B is the right answer to this question. Next is, India and Japan agreed to celebrate which year as the India-Japan Year of Shared Horizon? So right answer is option D, 2027. 2027 marks the 75th anniversary of diplomatic relations between India and Japan. And actually, recently the Prime Minister of Japan, she was actually in India. I'm sure you must be aware. And that's why these things were decided. And that 2027 India and Japan Year of Shared Horizon. Okay, these things were in the news. A friendship cricket match will also happen. Indian business and Japanese regional banks, etc. These things you should know. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Japanese counterpart Sana Takaichi also spoke about the 75th birth anniversary. Okay, or 75th anniversary of diplomatic relations. That will happen next year. Next is, she was in India, the Prime Minister of Japan, Sana Takaichi, and she, along with Modi ji, inaugurated a Maruti Suzuki plant under India-Japan Joint Economic Forum, which is located in Kharkhoda in Haryana. We already have a plant in Maruti Suzuki plant in Gurugram. You must be aware of it. Similarly, there is Kharkhoda plant in Haryana. At IMT Kharkhoda, Haryana. Yes, you can see Modi ji and the Prime Minister of Japan was there. Maruti Suzuki manufacturing plant was recently inaugurated. You can see it here on 2nd July 2026. Okay. Which of the following countries did India defeat to win the FIH Women's Nation Cup 2026? So India defeated New Zealand. So A is the right answer to this question. 2-0 to win FIH Hockey Nation Cup. So basically India versus New Zealand, the match happened. And the match also happened in New Zealand. The final match happened between India and New Zealand. And India won it by defeating New Zealand. So these are actually the top scorers. You can see it here. Okay. Next is, the theme of United Nations International Day of Cooperative is what? So the answer is option D, Cooperatives for a Peaceful World. D is the right answer to this question. And it is celebrated on 4th July or observed on 4th July. UN International Day of Cooperatives. Next is, which of the following states has proposed India's first dedicated police satellite constellation? So right answer is option C. Madhya Pradesh Police has proposed a 900 crore project to develop a constellation of 16 low Earth satellites, having India's first police force with own dedicated satellite network, with its own satellite constellation in low Earth orbit. Next is, Prime Minister Narendra Modi visit from 6 to 11 July includes which of the following countries? So he visited actually Indonesia, then Australia, then New Zealand. So C is the right answer to this question. So from India, he visited Indonesia. This here is Indonesia. And there he agreed actually that India will send BrahMos missile to Indonesia. And from there to Australia and from there to New Zealand. That's what you should be knowing about. Okay. So this was the trip. Now let's move on to the next one. What is the name of the semiconductor research and training hub being established at IIT Gandhinagar? Right answer is option B, Samarth. Silicon and Advanced Semiconductor Manufacturing Research and Training Hub aims to develop semiconductor research and skilled manpower. You can see at IIT Gandhinagar. Next is, who among the following recently resigned as the Prime Minister of Moldova? Option C, Alexandru Munteanu is the right answer to this question. He has resigned as the Prime Minister of Moldova. So it's Prime Minister. So C is the right answer. And where is Moldova? So here is India. This is Ukraine and this is Romania. Between Ukraine and Romania, there is a sandwiched country called as Moldova in Europe. Okay. Next is NPCI, National Payment Corporation of India. This is the same organization that has made UPI, FASTag, etc. Has partnered with which two financial institutions to enable real-time foreign exchange settlement of international UPI payments? So they have done an agreement with HSBC and JP Morgan. So B is the right answer. HSBC India and JP Morgan Payments partnered with will provide real-time FX conversation and settlement of overseas transactions. So B is the right answer to this question. Next is, which of the following tea states produced India's first commercially manufactured Masha tea? Masha tea actually. So right answer is option B, Chota Tingrai tea state. Located in Tinsukia district, Assam, Chota Tingrai tea estate produced India's first commercial matcha tea. So B is the right answer to this question. Anna, India's first matcha tea. Next is, what is the name of Skyroot Aerospace Vikram 1 launch mission? Very, very, very important. It was done under Mission Agman. So basically, from Satish Dhawan Space Center. So this is Satish Dhawan Space Center. It is on the island of Sriharikota. So Sriharikota Island, you will find it where? In Andhra Pradesh. Although it is on the border of Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, but actually it belongs to Andhra Pradesh. Here actually what happened was, Vikram 1 is the first orbital rocket launch by a private company, because generally those things were done by ISRO, but nowadays even private companies also venturing, like Skyroot Aerospace is the name of the private company that has launched this under Mission Agman. Very, very important. Skyroot's Vikram 1 made history. So you can see it here. The Agman, Sanskrit was maiden flight for Vikram 1, India's first orbital launch. So we had seen, yes, you can say Vikram 1. And we had seen before that Vikram S also, what we call Vikram S, which was a suborbital launch in November 2022 by the same company, Skyroot Aerospace. That is what you should be knowing. Okay. Next is, who among the following became the first woman to take 50 wickets in Women's T20 World Cup? So right answer is option C, Shabnim Ismail from South Africa. In the semi-final against England, she became the first woman to take 50 wickets in Women's T20 World Cup history. Shabnim Ismail. Next is, which of the following countries celebrated semi-quincentennial? Semi-quincentennial means 250 years on 4 July 2026. So basically, we had seen on 4 July 1776. What happened? US Declaration of Independence happened. US Declaration of Independence happened. And it was done by the main person who wrote that declaration is being asked in various exams. Thomas Jefferson wrote this US Declaration of Independence. So C is the right answer. And recently they have completed the 250 years. So it was 4 July 2026. 250 years of US Declaration of Independence. Okay, that's what you should know. Okay. India's first greenfield integrated refinery cum petrochemical complex has been dedicated to the nation. So it's actually from Pachpadra in Balota district of Gujarat. Of Rajasthan. HPCL, Rajasthan Refinery Limited at Pachpadra in Balota district is India's first greenfield integrated refinery cum petrochemical complex. Next is, the first India-made export-import shipping container was unveiled where? So in Dadri in Uttar Pradesh. C is the right answer to this question. Next is, who among the following freedom fighters' bronze statue was unveiled by Union Minister B.S. Verma? So right answer is option D. Alluri Sitaram Raju, very famous freedom fighter. And the person who inaugurated is a Union Minister of State for Heavy Industries. B.S. Verma actually unveiled this. Okay, in Andhra Pradesh. So A.S. Raju was a very famous person who fought against British. He had engaged in guerrilla campaigns against British in the state of Andhra Pradesh and Odisha during Rampa Revolt in 1922. Very famous. Next is, Keiko Fujimori has been recently elected as president of Peru. This is the right answer. We have just discussed actually that here is India. This is Peru. The capital of Peru is Lima. And it is in South America continent. South America continent. Next is, HDFC Bank has appointed former Chief Election Commissioner of India as part of its chairman. So, Mr. Rajiv Kumar. Before him was Atanu Chakravarti was the head, and he had resigned citing some ethical concerns. He was also an IAS officer, former IAS officer who was heading the HDFC Bank. Now, former Chief Election Commissioner of India, Mr. Rajiv Kumar, has been appointed as the HDFC Bank part-time chairman. So D is the right answer. Next is, India's first privately developed orbital rocket. We have discussed Vikram 1 launched by Skyroot Aerospace and under Mission Agman. We have just discussed. And one more thing, this is orbital launch, first orbital launch. And suborbital launch we had seen in November 2022 called as Vikram S, again by the same company, Skyroot Aerospace. And you know what is the difference between orbital and suborbital launch? So this is the Earth, let's say, and let's say this is the layer of the atmosphere. Now, so suborbital launch means you go into the space and came back. This is called as suborbital launch. Okay, like this. Orbital launch means you went into the space and actually you have taken the orbit of the Earth, and now you can go outside also. Now, that's called as orbital launch. That's a bigger achievement. And orbital launch we have done recently. We have seen recently by a private company for the first time in India, Skyroot Aerospace. First time a private company has developed, because earlier we used to have ISRO, which is a government agency which used to do these things. Now even private companies are also venturing into that field. Pandavani exponent Dr. Tijan Bai, who was accorded a state funeral, was a recipient of which honor? She had won Padma Vibhushan, India's second highest civilian award. You know, first highest civilian award is Bharat Ratan. Padma Vibhushan is the second highest. Padma Bhushan is the third, and Padma Shri is the fourth. So she was given Padma Vibhushan. D is the right answer. You can see Tijan Bai. You can read about her. She died on 5th July in Raipur, Chhattisgarh. Padma Bhushan award she got in 2003. Then Padma Vibhushan also she got. So this was the highest award in her life, which is the second highest civilian award of India. Padma Shri also she had got, but the highest one is Padma Vibhushan. So from India's standard, it is the second highest civilian award. Sangeet Natak Academy and many other awards she had won. So recently she died. She was an exponent of Pandavani, a traditional performing art of from Chhattisgarh. Okay, just have an idea. You can read further about her. Novak Djokovic equaled whose men's Wimbledon record? So Wimbledon is a very famous tennis tournament which happens in UK. By winning 105 victories, so he actually equaled Roger Federer. Novak Djokovic. So Novak Djokovic earns 105th match win at Wimbledon equals Roger Federer's record. Okay. So this is all about today's class. Please subscribe to our channel, press the like button, share this video. Thank you everyone. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.